喜恭喜恭喜你呀！恭喜恭喜恭喜你！恭喜恭喜恭喜你呀！恭喜恭喜恭喜你！
In Greater China. I am delighted to introduce our panel chair, Professor David Brown, Director of Lancaster University, China Management Center. Over to you, David.
Thank you, Philomena. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and just let me extend another welcome from ourselves as well as that
private sector sponsors, and I'm delighted that Teoh Holdings, our lead sponsor, are here today. We took 60 private sector companies out there and we did a survey after the fact in the Met market. 70% believe it will generate future sales and orders, and 12% report already having secured orders. And we're currently tracking something in the order of £2.5 million worth.
Times in the last 10 years. My wife hates me, my children call me uncle, but it's important to be there. 4 things. 1, don't try and take on the whole of China. And we've said this to football clubs because it's 32 different countries in one place. Focus on one place, grow it there. Secondly, be brave. Go to places, even if you've never heard of it. We took the team on tour to Urumqi in the wild, wild west of China and got a record crowds and got fantastic money.
Salam Sejahtera, that's a peace greeting from where I come from, that is Malaysia. And Gong Si Fa Chai to all of you in the room. I'd like to take this opportunity to wish all of you a year of abundance in wealth, health, business opportunities, peace of mind, and stability in whatever you're doing, especially in conquering the greater Chinese market, which I'm sure is the reason why all of us are here today. Now, I'm a little bit different for me being here because I was not brought up in China, but I was brought up in a country where historically we have had Chinese roots at the same time. I was brought up in a country in Southeast Asia, which I would like to recommend to the organization to actually explore Southeast Asia as another avenue for UK businesses to expand that. I was brought up in a country called Malaysia, in which we have 3 main races: the Muslims, the Chinese, and the Indians. And we celebrate 3 main religions, celebrations there, and Chinese New Year happens to be one of them. Now, I'll just share with you my Chinese New Year greetings, and I'll be sharing with you more about how the year of the rabbit, we call it the metal rabbit this year, and what it brings to businesses. Now, a disclaimer right here is, I am not a feng shui master, all right? I graduated from New Zealand, majoring in business, marketing and international business, have since traveled around the world on some scholarship programs offered by Stanford University in USA and also INSEAD in Singapore. I've managed to start a business when back in the year 2009 with a few partners specializing in project management and youth development consultancy. Last year I was recruited to join a non-for-profit organization, a youth foundation in Malaysia called My Harapan, which translates into My Hope, where I work with young people to develop enterprises and launch their ventures. But let me tell you why is the Year of the Rabbit so significant to us. I've done my research. I've consulted some friends of mine who happens to be in the feng shui field. And what they say is the Year of the Rabbit brings 3 main characteristics for businesses, either locally here and globally around the world. Now, during this auspicious year, the first thing you have to remember is that it is a dramatically better year for you to build relationships, which I believe has been echoed by all the panelists seated right in front of us here today. So I would really encourage you, not only from some may say, a superstitious standpoint of feng shui, but from a business sense, to foster that collaborative relationship, to go into unexplored markets like China with the help of UKTI and all its associated organizations, to really expand your horizon and get to know what we call the gatekeepers, people that know the market really well. Because this year, it is made to make all your deals hopefully flow smoothly. Now, the second point I'd like to make is this is also a very auspicious year for development, or I would say for learning. Based on the Year of the Metal Rabbit that we're in right now for Chinese New Year, it is a year for your company to grow. It is a year for you to motivate your staffs and your team and to further develop them, to broaden their horizon, to be open towards opportunities, and to develop trade ties with countries outside of the UK or anywhere else around the world. I would also like to quote that this is also practically quite a good time to engage in intellectual exchange, which I'm very glad that UKTI is doing right now, and also trade delegations overseas, because particularly the star, which takes care of relationships, and for you to learn new insights and foresights for your business, is particularly bright this year. I apologize if I'm talking like a feng shui master, but I'm not. Really very much down to the business sense. Now third, lastly, for the rabbit year, we have to embrace the characteristics of the rabbit itself. And just to quote a few, in Chinese, correct me if I'm wrong, but in Chinese we believe the rabbit is a character that embodies calm, collectiveness, fast-paced at the same time, attentive and caring, which I believe is all the business formulas you would need to win over your customers, to perform more efficiently in your business, and to of course create that maximum value that you've all want from your business at the end of the day. So again, by embracing the characteristics of the rabbit, I would really recommend, if I may, that you invest some time in exploring trades, invest some time in taking care of your customers, catching up with them, following up, at the same time thinking about how you too can bring your products and services to the greater Chinese market, that is China. Now lastly, before I end, I'm pretty sure all of you may be wondering why am I standing here delivering this speech to you. Just a sharing, by the way. Last November, Liverpool organized a global competition, a global social entrepreneurship competition called Your Big Year. It's organized by a voluntary company, a social enterprise called Smaller Earth, supported of course thanks to a Liverpool Vision as well, Liverpool City Council, where in this competition alone, we have gotten the participation of 45,000 young entrepreneurs and professionals from 168 countries. So talking about really globalizing Liverpool and the UK's perspectives to the world. Now, from this 45,000 people, we were then shortlisted to the final 24 best of the best that were flown to Liverpool in November last year during the Global Entrepreneurship Week to compete in a one-week, rigorous, high-tension, but at the same time fun and exciting, apprentice-like week where we had to be engaged with challenges of raising funds for charitable bodies, working on business plans for organizations, pitching our ideas to organizations, for example, like UKTI, Enterprise UK. And what happened was, I was really blessed that out of the 24 finalists, 2 winners were crowned, 1 lady and 1 guy. And I've just been really blessed to be here talking to you today as one of the winners globally. Now, what will happen throughout this, when we won this competition, we won a prize, but I see it more as an opportunity. We'll be traveling around the world this year, starting off with Liverpool, London, and now Manchester, but we'll be traveling outside of the UK now for a year. We'll be visiting the European Union in February, heading to the New York Stock Exchange and the United Nations Complex for a prestigious summit by the end of February, heading back to our respective home countries for a short break in March, and then heading to Shanghai, and then China and Hong Kong at April. At the same time, touring countries like South Africa, South America, the Oceanic region, Australia, New Zealand, and you name it. And when we travel around this country, talking about cultural exchange, we will actually experience that to the maximum. Because what we have to do in this country is we have to participate in social enterprises. We have to get involved in projects like building or constructing an ecosystem for families at the mouth of a volcano in Peru so that they can get access to clean water. We'll be involved with redevelopment and re-education projects in the slums of India, in the harsh places in South Africa, to really teach people about the enterprising skills and in setting up businesses for their survival. At the same time, meeting world leaders, local leaders, businesses, and entrepreneurs like yourself. So, personally for myself, I'd like to thank UKTI for giving me this opportunity. I'd like to thank all of you and the distinguished guests of speakers right here for having me here today. And personally from me, I'm really open to get to know all of you all better. And please, I'd love to network with all of you. And again, I'd like to use this opportunity to wish you all an abundance of opportunities, an ever rewarding year ahead for your business undertaking. And I'm sure with the right mindset and the right actions, you can conquer China. Thank you very much.
Met Michael before this evening, but thank you. That was a pretty impressive debut, Michael. I think next year perhaps you can join the panel. I can't